Well, I just stopped this trip from getting real exciting. I'm up here in the mountains. I'm still in Utah, but I'm about to enter Colorado. Heard something funny that I didn't like. It still might be the road, I don't know. But it made me want to get out and double check, and I found 3 lug nuts loose on one of my tires. Despite tightening them down yesterday, I'm real thankful I got out and took a look. So we're going to tighten them down, and we'll go from there. So here we are, day 12. We are heading out. We can see the beautiful sunrise kind of coming up behind us. We are getting ready to leave Hurricane. Going to fill up with some gas and hit the road. 5 days of traveling. Great news is that heading east, my route is a lot shorter because I'm taking the northern route. A lot meaning, about an hour a day shorter. But that'll make a big difference, hopefully, on the way out, especially because I lose an hour driving out twice because the time changes. So here we go. Starting phase 3 of the trip. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you a little bit later on. Well, I'll let you look at the view out my window this afternoon, as I just celebrate. I made it here. We're in Silverthorne. Not a bad trip today. You saw some beautiful, beautiful footage that I took on the way up. How remarkable! Just stunning views after stunning views, and so much change from southwestern Utah to the middle of the Rocky Mountains. We're about an hour and 15 minutes west of Denver, I believe, right in the height of the Rockies, in Silverthorne, Colorado, which appears to be a bit of a resort community, and just stunning views after a great trip. And I'll look forward to sharing with you a little bit more once I get settled. I probably ought to start off by giving a little clarification on almost losing my tire in the mountains in Utah today. It could have been a pretty scary incident. I was driving downhill, down the mountains, pretty high elevation, moving at a really good clip. Speed limit, just an FYI, speed limit through the entire trip in Utah today, 80 miles an hour. That was the speed limit. So as I said, I was moving at a good clip. And all of a sudden, the road got real rough. I started feeling some vibrations, and I started hearing road noise, which I hear a lot in the Jeep. It's not a quiet vehicle, and the mud tires aren't quiet. But this just didn't feel right or sound right. And knowing I had worked on the tires or the wheels yesterday, rotating them, I thought the smart thing was, you know what? Well, so the first thing I did is change lanes, because I thought, well, maybe this lane just got really rough. So I switched to the other lane, and the volume didn't change. And I thought for a moment or two, and I decided to pull over and just double check. And part of it was because I was talking with someone this week who was telling the story about their tire falling off while they were driving down the highway. And I've seen it happen before. So every time that I rotate my tires or even remove a tire, I think about it. And it makes sense to just go ahead and pay attention for the first few hundred miles. And this was probably easily 200 miles down the road. That's what's weird about it. But obviously, all 5 lug nuts were loose by the time I got out and checked. And there's 2 things that could have happened there. One is that I didn't tighten the lug nuts down enough. Actually, I tightened all of the tires down twice. So I was shocked that they became loose. So I don't think it's that I failed to tighten them, although I don't have my torque wrench with me. It's too big to carry around regularly. So I wasn't able to torque the wheels to spec, but I put a lot of weight into them, and I'm pretty sure I easily got 100 pounds of torque on them. The other thing is that these particular wheels and these lug nuts are sometimes hard to seat properly. So there's often times that I will tighten the lug nuts down, and they'll be off by a millimeter on the tire, and everything will feel tight and it'll look good. But when I go back and double check, I sometimes can find that the lug nuts aren't seated properly in the wheels. And so they tighten right up, but they aren't tightened in the right position. And I suspect that's what happened with this particular wheel today. I actually double checked all of them yesterday to make sure that they were properly centered, but clearly something went wrong with that one today. And I'm so thankful that I noticed it. I noticed it right away, and I'm especially thankful that I had the wherewithal to decide to stop and double check. As unlikely as it was that that's what the situation was, it was. And I'm just really thankful that I decided to get out, because I don't know what would have happened going down a mountain road at 80 miles an hour and having a wheel just come off. At the very least, I would have done some damage to the brake rotors and my hubs and potentially my axle. Who knows? Worst case, it could have been a whole lot worse than that. So narrowly escaped, or I shouldn't say narrowly, but was aware of an issue, stopped, figured it out, fixed it, went on with the day. Really thankful with the way things worked out. So I am here at Baker's Brewery, which is where I decided to get some dinner tonight. The main reason is because it is right next to the hotel, but also because they had some awesome selections. So I ended up getting what they're calling Hunter's Pie, which is basically like a shepherd's pie, but made with ground elk. I figure that's a nice local thing to go with here. And then I had to, while I was here, since it is a brewery, I had to pick up a growler of their, I think it was called Back Road Brown or Black Road Brown, which is named after a local road. And so look forward to my dinner tonight. And it sounds delicious. And it's great to be able to try a little bit of local flavor, both either with beer or with the food. So looking forward to dinner tonight. Well, it's dark out now, so I shut the curtains. There's not much to see outside. But it is time to talk about our music selection today. So this is one that's come up a couple of times on my trip so far. I haven't picked it yet, but when it came up today, it was the rockinest tune that I listened to today. And so that is Dirty Water by the Standells. What I did not know is that song's about Boston. I was driving home, or not driving home. Obviously, I'm driving home. I'm driving home for the next 5 days. But I was driving today, and I'm listening to the words, and I'm just like, wait, I thought that before. He totally said, Boston, you're my home. So, it's kind of appropriate on my first day driving back that we start celebrating. We're not far from Boston. We aren't Boston, but we're not far from Boston. And I understand that Dirty Water is played after some Red Sox songs, Red Sox games, and just a good song. So just a great celebration, and I encourage you, go check out this old footage of the Standells playing Dirty Water. Thought for the day. I don't have one particular thought for the day. I'm thinking back through the day, and I'm grateful for so many things. There were so many little blessings that I had today, or big blessings that I had today. Between the incredible views, I think I mentioned it earlier, but maybe I didn't. Watching that footage of driving from Utah here to the middle of the Rockies, I saw at least 4 different types of mountains, very distinct types of mountains, which is why I kept taking new footage, because there's just so many different ways of seeing the mountains. So what a blessing the beauty of creation is. Another blessing, I got an unexpected phone call from Jessie today. I was driving along and the phone rang, and she just wanted to chat for a little while. And heck, I'm stuck on the road for 8 hours, so I'm kind of a captive audience. So just the blessing of being able to talk with Jessie. Obviously, the blessing of noticing what's going on with the wheel before it falls off. What a blessing that was. And then just getting here to Silverthorne and being able to enjoy some local cuisine made fresh here at a local pub, and just so much to be blessed with. So I guess I know this is kind of hinting on some things I've mentioned before, but it's never too often to count our blessings and to just say thank you for the little things and big things that we sometimes take for granted. So thought for the day: how are you blessed? And how have you been blessed this day? I certainly have been. So I think that's going to wind it up for today. Not a super long video, but a nice one. And tomorrow we're going to get up bright and early, hit Denver, hopefully before rush hour, and end up, if all goes well, in Topeka, Kansas. Never thought I'd end up in Topeka, Kansas, but I'm going to be there tomorrow night, and I look forward to reporting back to you from there. In the meantime, thank you so much for following along, for listening to the blog, for reaching out, and lending your support. I look forward to sharing my journey as I continue my way home.